is about where James is. And they stopped rolling because they heard the pop. And we all thought I broke my finger. Blah, blah, blah. Turns out I ripped the ligament off my bone.
Ooh, I see the...
And it's going to take about a year to heal.
Oh, man.
So there's that. I was 16 years old, and we said, hey, I have an idea. Let's go water skiing. What? One last time before dinner. If you ever in your life want to do anything one more time, don't. You might die. So we hop out on the boat. Me, my brother, my cousin. I want to go slalom, but I hop out on 2 skis. And I'm skiing on 2 skis. I kick one ski off while I'm on the hard water outside of the wake.
There's some more on the side.
And I decide to skip onto the inside
go
of
right
the
ahead,
wake.
go right ahead, thanks.
But I hadn't yet put my foot in back like that and leaned back. So I had one foot out like that.
Oh, man.
And that ski goes under the water. This leg goes that way. This leg goes that way. I hit the water. I pass out. I pass out a lot. I am not wearing a life jacket.
Oh, that's bad.
So I start to sink. I wake up as I start to inhale water and start to paddle and float to the top. And when I float to the top, I vomit the water up, and something keeps hitting me in the face. What is that? What is that? What is that? And it's
still weird. More people piling up here, trying to duck, trying to tell them to duck.
And it's this leg.
Ow!
It's been dislocated at the hip. It's stuck like this.
Thanks. No, it's okay, thanks.
And it's smacking
no
me
worries.
in the face as the waves are pushing it into my head. Like that. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm trying to stay afloat. I'm like, I'm gonna die in this shitty lake.
I'm recording. Go ahead. I'm recording that.
So I grab my foot like this, and I pull, and I pull, and I pull, and then I snap it.
Oh my!
And guess what happens? I pass out. And I sink.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
And as I start to sink, luckily the boat comes back. My brother pulls me out of the water. For the next 6 weeks, the back of my leg and my butt are as black as night from all the muscle damage and the torn stuff that was happening in there. I have muscle scars still on the back of my leg that you can see. It was horrible. Okay? All right. I could keep going, but I'm going to stop. Okay.
Oh, man. People still passing by here.
You know what? We got it. I have to get to... Okay, you. First of all, after that, I don't think any question on this panel is going to be able to top that last one. Thank you. But you played Trunks to that weird-ass curator from Dead Man Wonderland. Does any of this shit surprise you anymore? You mean in anime? Yeah, anything. No, nothing surprises me anymore. I can't name it, but I was doing a show that had what would be considered questionable material. And the director said, are you cool with doing this show? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm cool with it. And he says to me, well, I need to show you the scene in the show that is the reason people aren't doing the show with us. I was like, okay. So I watched the scene, and he's like, it's pretty horrible, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's go to work. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It's just work. You know, I'm not actually doing that. That's the thing about acting. I'm not actually doing these things. See, here's the thing. My wife says, look, if you've got to go out there, because voice acting isn't the only thing I do. I do plenty of other kinds of acting, you know, on camera, whatever. And she always tells me, she's like, if you've got to book a role where you're making out with somebody, you got a sex scene with somebody, you got to do any of that kind of crazy stuff, which I don't really have to do all that often, but if you do, it's okay if you're getting paid. She says very clearly, honey, you're a whore, not a slut.
Oh my.
And I'm fine with that. All right.
Oh jeez.
You.
Wow.
Run, James!
Run, James, run!
Hi.
I was just wondering, how was your whole experience in working in Desert Punk?
Oh, yes. Where is he? I saw him over here. There he is, right there. Desert Punk was fantastic. I loved working on Desert Punk. Because Desert Punk was one of the few shows we got to improvise in. We got to play with things. Those jokes did not translate very well from Japanese into English, so we got to have some fun with it. And being the sick dude that I am, that was just right up my alley. We had to look up terminology for boobs and found 1,200 different terms for it. So that was fun. But really, you know, like I was explaining earlier to somebody, when you're doing a show, and I wrote a lot of the show too, so I'm sitting at home trying to translate, or trying to work on this translated jokes, and they don't exactly work in the booth. Now at 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm by myself writing a joke at home, it's hysterical. But get into the booth, and it sort of loses some of its punch. You know?
Thank you.
So we worked in time to improvise. So we had a blast. Loved it. It was so cool. Okay, that being said, it looks like we are about at capacity. Am I right?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I'm going to go back real fast before we move on to more questions, and I'm going to say the thing that I said before that half of you heard, which is that only ask interesting questions. Ask a stupid question. Stupid answer. That's what's gonna happen. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't do it. It's funny, I see more hands go up than drop. Okay, James, pick somebody. Faster than that, Jake.
There you go.
Layla, and when you were younger, have you ever thought of voice acting? Like, did you ever throw your voice when other people were talking, like, behind walls or things like that?
Oh, no, I couldn't throw my voice. I tried to. I never considered voice acting as a job. I didn't think that it was a thing, you know? But, you know, I'm not a voice actor, I'm an actor. Voice acting is just one of the things I do. You know, and that's what everyone needs to understand. Acting is acting. You just act wherever you are. And so when I was a kid, I just wanted to be an actor. I didn't care where I acted. I still don't. So if somebody wants to hire me to do voice acting, I'm going to do voice acting. If somebody wants to hire me to be on stage, I'll be on stage. I just like doing it. Acting. And that other thing too. Striped shirt. Way back, red hat.
Hi there, Eric. This is a twofold question. One.
Hold on, James is running to you. I'm really giving him a hard time.
Full capacity tonight here in this
This is
panel.
more or less the two-parter. One, what's your take on the brony scene? And number two, can you do a little improv of America and Canada as sportscasters?
Okay. You remember the whole stupid question thing? Bronies.
Well, thank you.
Really? Okay, who likes My Little Pony? So does my 6-year-old girl. Right. And there are some dudes over there like, thank you, right? Let's go drink a beer, right?
Oh, jeez.
No bronies. Period. While I have mad respect for the people who work on the show, and I love what's being done, and I think it's a fantastic show for my 6-year-old girl, it really annoys me that I know 35, 45, 50-year-old men who think that it is the greatest thing and has all this really deep meaning. No, you're stupid. It doesn't. It's a child's show. It's a child's show. Wrap your head around it. Please. Now, what was the other thing? Something about Canada? Because I don't even know what Canada is. Okay, so America and Canada doing what?
Sportscasting.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I know nothing about sports.
Understandable.
Good for you. That's great. That adds so much to my life. You get the next question.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. You dish some crap out to somebody takes a little crap with some guts. Reward. I don't know how to do that.
Just give it a try.
Okay, so it's like, okay, I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Maple Leafs versus the Dallas
Don't pass out.
Good night. And that's about all I can do because that happens. Okay. So, yeah, dude, you knew you had it next. Yeah. Oh, no. What?
Oh, sorry about that.
No, her, that's fine.
What is like your all-time favorite movie?
My all-time favorite movie, it changes from time to time, kind of depending on what's happening in my life and my mood, but right now my all-time favorite is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So, okay, all hands down. All hands up. Okay, that's not all hands down. Who has seen Close Encounters? Hands. All right, see, that's not enough. But the reason I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind so much, one of the reasons, there's a million, but one of the reasons is because it has one of the ballsiest endings of any movie ever. You could not, you've seen it, I know. You could not make that movie today with that ending. At all. You wouldn't do it. A studio would shut you down. A studio would stop that ending from happening. And that's why I love it, because in the 70s, you could do some of the craziest stuff, you know, including some guy saying, you know what, I know my marriage is kind of on the rocks and I should really stay here for my kids, but I'm gonna go hang out with these aliens. So, spoiler alert. By the way, I think spoiler alerts for movies that have been out longer than a lot of people have been alive don't count. If you haven't seen Jaws by now, they kill the shark. Hey, guess what?
What?
Bruce Willis is dead in The Sixth Sense the whole time.
And he threw the mic out.
And you're all stuck in this room with me. Okay, you. Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a question for Yuki Soma.
Oh boy.
So I was wondering if you knew that in the Vietnamese culture, the year of the rabbit is actually the year of the cat. So technically, Kyo is in the zodiac.
No, he did not just say that. He did not just say that. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Wow.
Pikachu.
With the Pikachu plushie.
You got a loud enough voice. Just yell it. I know you do. My favorite episode? I don't know what my favorite episode is, but I always like the moment where Trunks cut Frieza in half.
Like his second episode, I believe.
I always see people get cut in half this
Second
way.
to third.
Rarely this way.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I know. Doesn't matter. It's still pretty gross. James, how about go to the back of the room? We're going to take some questions from back there. You pick, James. Make it fast.
Make it fast. Come on, man.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so I was wondering, how the hell did you even get the role of Trunks in
All right. Who said that? Who said video over here? That's right. Okay. So A, you need to go on YouTube. I have a video on YouTube that will answer that question and others cleverly. Probably better than I can here. But the short version is that I auditioned for it.
Duh.
Because that's how that works.
Thank you.
I mean, there's not. The story is that I was acting professionally, and as a lot of you being in LA know, acting professionally at the time meant I had just been kicked out of college and I was delivering pizzas. So a friend of mine who was working on DBZ at the time came in, handed me a phone number and said, I'm doing this show, I think you would be good at it, and they audition all the time, call this guy for an audition. I called him, I got an audition. 3 weeks later they called me specifically to audition for Trunks, and then I was cast as Trunks, I think the next day. That was in 2000. So it was that long ago. I've been doing that ever since. Okay, James, pick somebody from over here. To your left. A girl. No. A girl to your left.
You can't seem to.
The one right in front of you. Just hand her the mic.
There you go.
There you go.
Can you please say your favorite America line?
You want to hear an America line?
Yes.
My favorite America line. I don't know. I like I'm the hero because I identify with that. Nobody scream.
Okay.
Plug your ears. I'm the hero! Good job. All right. Okay, I You want me to call your mother a what?
In the name of Desert Punk, you can say your mother is a dirty whore over and
Your mother is a dirty whore! Your mother is a dirty whore! Your mother is a dirty whore! You'd be surprised how similar the voice for Desert Punk is to America. It's almost the same thing. Okay, the hat. Yeah, you, don't look around. So the question is did any of the voices or the characters that I played inspire me to do other things? No, not really. None of the characters that I've played have ever really inspired me to do something that they do, but interestingly enough, some of them do share similarities with me as a person. Like Sanji in particular, he's a cook, I'm a cook, and that's one of my favorite things to do is cook. I cook and bake and almost every day. It's kind of a good, relaxing thing to do. That's it? Okay, what time is it?
What? That short? That was quick. Oh, hold on. This guy's covering the,
Okay, so we only have time for one more question. There's no way that all that's gonna happen. So...
Give him a good one. Give him a good
it's
one.
It's gonna have to come from a lady. With the sunglasses on your head. Yeah. Yeah, you. James, take her the mic.
Hope it's a good one. We're here very, very late. Number 1.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I have a bit of a two-part question.
Good.
Out of all the characters that you've ever played, which one was your most favorite to voice, and who was your most challenging?
I don't know. Most favorite. I like Desert Punk, just because of all the stuff I was saying earlier. I got to improvise, I got to tell dirty jokes and be disgusting and talk about boobs. You know, for me that was fun. The most challenging character to voice is probably America. Because you with that character, you have to walk a really weird line. Because the character has to be hilarious, but he's also got to make a point, you know? So I keep getting cast in these characters that are like a lovable a-holes, is what everyone calls them. And that's a hard line to walk. Is make somebody a really big jerk and make them kind of lovable, you know? And you had to kind of do that with America. So he was a real challenge to perform. Not vocally, but the performance was. So, what? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, well, I am so sorry that I couldn't get to everybody's questions, but thank you so much for having me at your convention. Signing tomorrow morning at 10 or 10:30. Check the brochures.
Can everyone please get their tickets now? We're going to do the raffle. The numbers will be displayed on the screen.
And that is it for the panel, because off camera they'll do some processing here. So, yeah, that's it from here.
If your number